You know that stubborn belly fat that makes your favorite jeans feel a little too snug? Yeah, we all get frustrated by it. But what if I told you the real story, the one that actually matters for your health, has nothing to do with what you see in the mirror?
Well, it's true. There's a hidden danger lurking deep inside our bodies, and really understanding what it is, that's the first step to protecting yourself for the long haul. So let's dive in and find out what's really going on in there.
All right, first things first, we've got to bust a huge myth, because it turns out not all belly fat is created equal. Your body actually has two very different types of fat, and honestly, they couldn't be more different.
So, on one hand, you've got what's called subcutaneous fat. That's the stuff you can actually pinch, the layer right under your skin. It makes up about 90% of your body fat. But then, there's visceral fat. This is our real focus today. You can't see it, you can't grab it, because it's packed deep inside, wrapped around your vital organs like your liver and your intestines. And that is where the trouble really starts.
So what's the big deal with this hidden fat? Why is it so much worse? Well, because unlike the fat just under your skin, visceral fat isn't just sitting there. It's an active and pretty disruptive force inside your body.
Yeah, check this out. It's described as highly metabolically active tissue. The best way to think about it is not as a simple storage space, but more like a rogue organ. Seriously, it's biologically active, and it's constantly pumping out this cocktail of harmful substances right into your system.
And here's a look at what that rogue organ is making. It's churning out inflammatory substances that cause this constant, low-grade inflammation all through your body. It's also dumping free fatty acids into your liver, which totally messes with your cholesterol. Plus, it's releasing other chemicals that mess with your body's normal operations and can lead straight to insulin resistance, which, as you may know, is a huge step on the path to type 2 diabetes.
Now, this constant chemical attack isn't just a minor problem. It's directly fueling some of the most serious diseases that we face today. This is why it's not just about weight. It's about a silent internal threat to your health that you might not even know is there.
And all the major health organizations are sounding the alarm on this. This hidden fat dramatically increases your risk of a heart attack or a stroke. It's a primary cause of type 2 diabetes, and new research is even linking it to a higher risk for certain cancers. It's a core part of what doctors call metabolic syndrome, which is just a dangerous mix of conditions like high blood pressure and high blood sugar.
And this is the part that I think really surprises people. Your BMI, your body mass index, it doesn't tell you the whole story, not even close. You can be in a healthy weight range according to the charts, but still be carrying dangerous levels of visceral fat. That's where the term thin outside, fat inside comes from. A belly that sticks out, even on a slim person, is a big red flag.
And this isn't just a general problem. It has specific risks for different populations. Take India, for example, where over 135 million people are dealing with obesity. The problem there is even more serious. Research shows that people of South Asian descent, because of something called the Indian phenotype, have a tendency to store more fat around their organs and have less muscle mass. This makes them more likely to develop visceral fat, even at a lower body weight.
Okay, so we've laid out the danger, but how do you actually know if you're at risk? Well, here's the good news. You do not need some high-tech, expensive body scan to get a pretty good idea. You can figure this out right at home.
That's right. No MRI, no CT scan needed for this first step. All it takes is a simple, flexible tape measure. This little tool is actually one of the best ways to estimate how much of that deep, visceral fat you might be carrying.
So let's quickly walk through how to do it right. First, feel for the very top of your hip bone. Got it? Okay. Now take the tape measure and wrap it around your bare stomach, just above that spot. You want to make sure the tape is level all the way around, not digging in, but not loose either. Then just breathe out normally, let your stomach relax, and take a look at the number.
So, what does that number mean? Let's check out this chart. For the general population, the risk starts to go up for women with a waist over 35 inches, and for men over 40 inches. But look at the second column. For South Asian populations, those numbers are lower. Over 80 centimeters for women and 90 for men. And that's because of that genetic tendency we were just talking about.
Now, if your measurement is a little higher than you'd like, please don't get discouraged. In fact, this is where the story gets really hopeful. There is a clear way to fix this, and we're about to walk through a real concrete plan to fight back against this hidden enemy.
And here it is, the best news of all. Of the two types of fat, visceral fat is actually the most responsive to lifestyle changes.
Because it's so metabolically active, your body taps into it and burns it for energy first when you start eating better and moving more. So this is a challenge you can absolutely win.
Okay, your battle plan begins in the kitchen. The first step, and it's a huge one, is to cut way back on refined carbs and sugary drinks. Those are major triggers for visceral fat. Instead, you want to focus on getting more soluble fiber from things like oats and beans, plenty of lean protein to keep you full, and healthy fats from foods like olive oil and fish.
Next up, movement. And a combo approach here is absolutely king. You should aim for about 115 minutes of cardio a week. That's things like brisk walking or swimming. That's amazing for burning visceral fat, but you can't skip the strength training. Building muscle actually boosts your metabolism, which means your body becomes a better fat-burning machine all day long, even when you're resting.
And finally, we have to talk about two things that are so often overlooked: sleep and stress. When you don't get enough sleep, it messes with your appetite hormones. And chronic stress, it's just as bad. It raises a hormone called cortisol, which literally tells your body to store fat right around your middle. So making sure you get 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep and finding ways to de-stress, well, they're non-negotiable. And really, that brings us to the most important point of all. This isn't about chasing a six-pack or some number on a scale. The fight against visceral fat is about something so much more important. It's about protecting your organs, slashing your risk of disease, and building a foundation of real, true health that starts deep inside your body.